The envelopes. Both Dick and Stan were standing in front of Dick's door. They were both holding an envelope. Stan told Dick that he wanted his £30 back because he hadn't been able to get a new job and needed the money badly. Dick asked him if he wanted all the £30 because he didn't have as much as that. He offered him £10 and promised to pay the rest the following week. Stan knew that Dick wouldn't keep his promise, but as he was in a hurry, he accepted his offer. He said he didn't mind if he could have the £10 right away. Dick took out his wallet. He put the envelope on a small table near his door because he needed both hands. He took out a £10 note and gave it to Stan. Stan put his envelope on the small table too, because he wanted to put the note into his wallet. Now both the envelopes were on the table. Stan said thank you for the money, picked up one of the envelopes, and asked Dick when he should come for the rest of the money. Dick told him he'd be able to pay at the end of the following week, on Friday or Saturday. Stan said goodbye and went downstairs. Dick picked up the other envelope and went back into his room to finish his packing.
At the station. Joe was the first to arrive at Victoria. He went to one of the booking offices and waited for the others. Soon he caught sight of Oliver, who was coming slowly towards him. He had a camera in his hand and tried not to look worried, but he was really scared. He didn't want to show how scared he was and began to make conversation. He asked Joe if he'd been waiting long. Joe said he hadn't. He'd come a few minutes before. In a few minutes, Henry and Fred arrived. They were both reading the morning paper. Henry was carrying the briefcase with the Leonardo in it. He was quite calm. Fred showed Oliver the article he was reading. It was about the Leonardo robbery. Oliver's face turned white. Fred started teasing him. Oliver opened his mouth to answer when Henry told them to stop it. Joe asked if they'd already bought the tickets. Fred said he had booked them about a week earlier. Then Henry asked Joe to go to the left luggage office and take out their luggage. Joe said he would rather have a drink at the refreshment room than take out the luggage. He looked at Henry, and when he saw his face, he took the tickets from Fred and asked how many pieces of luggage they'd left there. Henry said they had 2 bags, both of them brown, and 2 suitcases, one green and the other black. Porter.
Let's get a porter. Porter,
Yes, sir?
we want to catch the Dover boat train.
We haven't got much time then, sir. The train is standing at platform 6.
Here's our luggage.
Shall I take your briefcase too, sir?
No, thank you. Only these 4 pieces.
I'll see you on the platform.
Why did he ask if he should take the briefcase too?
What's the matter, Oliver? Are you scared?
I'm not scared at all, I only...
Oh no, not him. Just look at him. The porter's question gave him such a scare that he almost dropped his camera.
That's enough. Stop it, Fred. Which platform did the porter say the train was standing at?
Platform 6.
Fred, will you go to the kiosk and buy all the morning papers you can get? Hurry up, or else we'll miss the train.
In the train. At last they got on the train. Fortunately, there was no one else in the compartment. Henry and Oliver sat with their backs to the engine. Henry read the newspapers. Oliver didn't feel very well. He looked out of the window and watched the dirty London houses. Fred and Joe sat facing the engine. Fred took a sandwich out of his pocket and began eating it. He offered one to Joe, but he said he would rather have a glass of whiskey. Then Joe began to ask silly questions. He asked if they'd booked single or return tickets, if they needed a visa for Spain, how wide the English Channel was, and if the sea would be calm during the crossing.
On board the cross-channel boat. Soon they arrived at Dover. They managed to get through immigration and customs quite easily, and they went on board the cross-channel boat. Joe went straight to the bar. He was very surprised at the low prices of the drinks. He didn't know they were duty-free. He made up his mind to buy a number of bottles and take them on the long journey through the continent. He was about to join the queue when Henry arrived and gave Joe the declaration form for the French customs. He told him to fill it in. Joe looked at the form, turned it over twice, and then said he didn't know what to do with it. Henry explained how to fill it in. Joe asked where to write the 10 bottles of whiskey he was going to buy. Henry got really angry. He wasn't in the habit of being rude, but now he took him by the arm and ordered him to go up on deck and join Fred and Oliver. Joe and Henry soon found them. They were sitting in deck chairs watching the sea. It was a fine day, the sun was shining and there were no clouds in the sky. The sea was calm. Henry and Joe sat down too. Joe asked if the water was deep. "Never mind the water," said Henry, and asked him what had happened on the afternoon of the robbery.